Okay, so here's part 3. More dogs could be seen not far from the cliff. As Feline was climbing up, Bambi held the dog off with his antlers. He remembered what the big stag had said a long time ago when he had seen him for the first time in the clearing. "Be brave," he had said, as he was defending Feline against the dog. Bambi could still hear the deep voice of his father saying, "Be brave, Bambi." Yes, he must be brave. He must save Feline and himself. Bambi and Feline galloped as fast and as far as they could, and at last it seemed that the dogs had given up. But, Bambi, what is that red light over there?" Feline suddenly asked. "Fire, that's what it was. The forest was on fire from the campfires. All of the young trees had already blackened. Suddenly they were surrounded by smoke and Bambi couldn't see Feline. She didn't answer when he called her. Bambi started to run again until he reached a clearing. The great stag was there. Bambi looked at his father with sadness. "Where is Feline?" the great stag asked. "We ran away from the dogs and I lost her in the smoke." "I had been looking for her," Bambi answered. "Hurry, son, we must make for the rivers." Bambi had been wounded by the dog and he followed limping. He thought of how his mother must have suffered when she had been killed by the hunters. "If only I knew where Feline was," Bambi sighed. Come, son, this is no time for discouragement," the big stag said, trying to cheer him up. They rushed through the fire, through the cold water of the river, and onto the far shore. Many other animals had already reached safety there. To Bambi's great relief and joy, Feline was there too, and she gently licked Bambi's wounded shoulder. "Safe at last," Bambi exclaimed, and it seemed all his troubles were forgotten now that he was with Feline again. When they were able to go back to where they once lived, everything was black and bare. No leaves, no flowers, no grass. "We will have to look for another place," Bambi said sadly. "It doesn't matter, Bambi. We are alive. That's all that counts," Feline said. Both of them went to look for their friends, Thumper the rabbit and his family, Mr. Owl and the squirrel. By nightfall they had found everybody and once again felt safe and secure. Winter went by and the fire-blackened forest came to life again. By springtime, new leaves and flowers grew and grass covered everything. No one could tell that there had been a fire and the forest was beautiful again. The mole and all her baby moles poked their heads out of the ground, but the sun was too bright for them. We'll wait until the sun sets," said the mother, and they all slipped back into their hole. The sun felt nice and warm. The squirrel yawned and stretched. He was anxious to jump and somersault into the trees again after the long winter sleep. Just as he was getting ready to leap, Thumper the rabbit arrived. "Have you heard the news? Feline and Bambi had 2 babies. Let's go and see them." Most of the animals had already left to go and admire Feline and Bambi's newborn fawns. "I'm following you," the squirrel said, and off they went. Thumper had already announced the good news to all of the animals, and they were rushing from the corner of the tree. As usual, Mr. Owl was dozing on a branch. "Wake up, Owl! Owl, it's no time to sleep," Thumper shouted when he saw him still gently rocking in his sleep. "What is it? What is it?" said Mr. Owl, who almost fell out of the tree after being so suddenly awakened. It's you again, you little rascal. Won't you ever let me sleep? Mr. Owl was very angry. Sorry. But Thumper couldn't care less. Listen to the good news, Owl. Bambi just had babies. As they drew closer to the thicket where Feline and Bambi lived, the animals lowered their voices. Shh, shh, we don't want to, shh. Don't make so much noise. You'll wake up the babies, whispered Thumper. Here they are. Look at them. The newborn princes of the forest were sleeping like Bambi did once upon a time long ago. They're so cute. Congratulations, Feline, said Mr. Owl, bowing. Thank you all for coming, said Feline, but we must let them sleep. They are very small. I know a lullaby, Thumper said. I don't think it's necessary. Look, they're already fast asleep, Feline replied. Thumper was a little disappointed, but Feline told him to come back tomorrow. Not far away, the proud father, Bambi, watched over his family. The next day, the little fawns opened their eyes and made their first attempts to stand up. Soon they were able to walk. All of the animals had come back to see them now that they were wide awake. Startled by the crowd, the fawns snuggled against each other. Don't be afraid, they're all your friends, said Feline, and they've come to say hello. Bambi now was the head of the family. He had to fetch some food for them and make sure that everything was quiet and safe. One day he reached the clearing. He saw his father, the great stag, emerge from the forest. He came over to Bambi and said, I'm happy for you and Feline. You'll be good parents and bring your children up as well as your mother and I did. Bambi saw the majestic antlers of his father had grown even bigger and more beautiful since the last time he had seen them. He was so proud to be the son of the king of the forest. My son, the stag began, I've waited a long time for this day to come. Thanks to you and Feline, there will be more little fawns in the forest. They will become grown-up deer themselves and have fawns too. That is the way it should be. Now it is time for me to let you take my place. You've become a strong and experienced deer. Everybody in the forest loves you and respects you. It is your turn to become the king of the forest. No, that can't be, Bambi whispered. You are the king, and you will remain the king. No, Bambi, said the big stag. Everything comes to an end. I've grown old and cannot be the king anymore when one isn't strong enough. You are the one who is strong enough now and wise also. I give over my kingdom to you. I know you will be a good king. When you feel tired and sad, think of me and your mother. Of me and of your mother. The big stag left then, and Bambi saw him disappear into the forest just as he had appeared for the first time, years ago when Bambi was still a little fawn. As Bambi went back to Feline, he thought to himself that she was a queen now, and that his babies were princes and princesses. He felt proud and happy. Feline, he said when he got back to her, I am the king of the forest, and we will always be together. Feline gently put her paw on his. She didn't need to say anything. Okay, so that was me reading Bambi. I'm sorry this had to be put into 3 parts. This is such a long book. So I hope you guys liked it, and thank you for watching. I will see you in another video soon.